Welcome back to SoundersFC.com. This is the Roundtable. We are in Ballard on Northwest Market at La Isla, and Pete Fewing knows that means
the island.
Thank you very much. Arlo White also knows that.
Welcome, I
do now. We got a lot to talk about today on this show. We're going to congratulate Peter on something that his team was able to do later on. But first, Arlo, let's go back to Kansas City. You saw it, you were there, you called it one of the great finishes, and there have been a lot of them in the 3 years of Sounder history, but tell us a little about that. Recap us on that 2-1 win over Sporting Kansas City.
Well, it was amazing. I think Kansas City are absolutely sick of the sight of the Seattle Sounders. Yeah. I think it's fair to say. I mean, they won the first game at CenturyLink Field in 2009, and since then, all the Sounders do against them is either beat them in stoppage time with a winning goal or qualify for the playoffs with victories against them. I mean, literally, those two things have happened in the 5 games since the only defeat. Mauro Rosales was absolutely magnificent. You're 1-0 down going into the 90th minute, and to come back and to not only tie the game, and I think when the game was tied, people were like, well, we'll take that point, fantastic. We'll go back to the Pacific Northwest, out of this furnace. It was so hot down there, following on from the Houston game as well the week before, and would take the point, but then Rosales was having none of it, and Riley was having none of it, and Lamar Nagel was having none of it. So to come away with a 2-1 victory in what is a super tight Western Conference. Right. You look at the Eastern Conference, and Columbus have, I think, 34 points. That will be good enough for 6th place in the conference in which we play. And only the top 3 qualify for the playoffs automatically. So it's vital that they get every 3 points that they possibly can get, the Seattle Sounders, and that was magnificent. And going into the Chivas match now, on Saturday, look, the boys are going to be feeling fantastic about it. And just a final point on it, to do that so late, the 4 days after going 120 minutes against San Francisco of Panama in the CONCACAF Champions League, what a test of character and a test of endurance by the Seattle Sounders. Well, fantastic.
And I do want to talk about those two things with Pete Fewing, of course, a long-time soccer coach at Seattle University. Now with the Kitsap Pumas, they've just won the PDL championships. We'll talk about that in a second. But why does a team win? I mean, constantly in stoppage time. Is it conditioning? Is it mental conditioning? Combination of the two? Is it the coach? What is it?
I think it's a combination of the two, but honestly, I think it's the mental. The mental is what drives you. And you're right about Rosales. He was not going to give up. Lamar Nagel had a great quote saying, "We expect to win at the end." I'm good friends with the Kansas City trainer, and we were texting back and forth over the weekend, and they do not like the Seattle Sounders, but the Sounders expect to win, and it is a mindset, and there's leadership now on the field. I think a month and a half ago, the Sounders went to a new plateau as a club, and this is an indication that they are getting stronger and better, and to come off, like you said, the Panama game, to go 90 minutes plus another 30 minutes of overtime, and then to go down and play in that environment, they just get stronger and stronger. So I think the mind in this one carries them through, and Rosales, my hat's off to him. I'm so proud of the leadership he's brought. We had it with Casey Killer, but now we have it in the field as well. So he's extending his leadership role on the field.
And I know that teams don't talk about this, or not necessarily supposed to talk about it, but I know there was a great event on game day with Steve Zakawani. A lot of fans came to it as they observed him watching this amazing match. And we seem to forget that they are doing all of this without Steve Zakawani, one of the key players in MLS. And,
absolutely amazing. And the sooner he can get back, the better. But I'm sure he's so proud of what the team have achieved in his absence. And to think how strong this team will be when he comes back is fantastic. What I love about Saturday as well, it was Ziggy's 150th coaching victory. So he's the first MLS coach to reach that plateau, which is terrific. And look at we are the Sounders, but we're also the Seattle Street Busters.
Yeah,
yes, that's
so
what we do.
Yeah.
We win in buildings for the first time. Red Bull Arena and now Livestrong Sporting Park. We ended these long home records of Columbus, Real Salt Lake this year, and this was a 14-game unbeaten run that Kansas City were on, and we broke that streak as well. So if you're on a good run, you don't want to be facing the Seattle Sounders because they will end it.
And that's a mindset too.
Yeah.
They love those opportunities, those milestones of stopping Real Salt Lake on their 29 home unbeaten streak. We owed Kansas City a little bit because they beat us here for the first time in the inaugural season. But they have a mindset, and Ziggy's that way too. It's any competitive thing he can add to the equation. And I'm sure Ziggy didn't say, let's go get my 150th win. But I am sure he said, let's stop Kansas City and let's give them their first loss. We owe them for that. So it's impressive. The mindset of this team is very strong.
And that's the key in any sport. Championship teams have to win on the road.
Yes.
Because when you get in the playoffs, you're going to play at some point on the road. By the way, North End Faithful come here. This is one of their favorite bars, hangouts.
They go to bars?
For away games, and we're going to bring on Kenny Wright, who is one of the, I guess, 4 people who are kind of in charge of the North End. Tell us about that. How's your group growing? How many members?
We're currently about 100 members.
Good.
It's been a slow and steady growth, but it's fun. We like to do it, and we love to support the Sounders and show them what we can do.
When fans are out at CenturyLink, where can they see you guys? Where are they going to find you? I'm guessing in the North End, right?
In the North End.
Okay.
I personally
Quiet
sit in
people.
145, and underneath the Welcome to Green Hill banner.
Okay, excellent. And for contact information for any members that want to join, should they just come and find you at the matches?
They can find us at the match, or they could check us out at northandfaithful.com.
Excellent.
Hey,
By
that's
the way,
Tony, what I love about these guys as well. Do you remember the Portland match and the huge tifo
Yes.
that was in the Broadmend, which got a lot of international exposure, not just national exposure. But these guys came up with a pretty decent effort themselves. And I remember looking down, and at the start of the game, instead of giving the teams, I was actually commentating on the tifos going up. But there was a great effort in the North End as well, which kind of, because the Broadmend was so spectacular, kind of got a little bit lost in the mix. But
Yeah,
those guys
yeah.
produced a fantastic tifo for the Portland match. So well done on that.
We were
Kenny.
very proud of
Yeah.
that one as
Yeah.
well.
Kenny, you've got Robin, Kyle. Who's your fourth? Is there a fourth
Our
person?
fourth is Marcus.
Okay. And you guys, and you're also a part of the council
Yes.
as well? Excellent.
I think I'm the only Alliance Council member north of that side of the field.
Wow. That's kind of cool. You have a special hat for that or anything? No.
It's got
We'll
a
get
button.
on top of that.
So you got a button. What time do you guys get there on game day?
We always have to get up. I have to get to the stadium at least 90 minutes before the game
Okay.
to set up, but then head over to the bar and get drinking.
Yeah, good. That's good, Kenny. Thank you. For that endorsement. We certainly appreciate
We
it.
could join this club.
North End Faithful. Kenny, thank you
We should
very
try
much.
before a broadcast, Pete, see how that works out.
Could they tell the difference? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Let's move on.
Our
Big
last
match.
broadcast,
Thank
we
you,
did
Kenny.
it before
Thank
our
you,
last
North End Faithful. Big match coming up Saturday, but I want to get to you, Pete, because you, of course, your team did a nice job in the U.S. Open Cup against the Sounders a couple weeks ago, losing 2-1.
Right.
Then you go on and win the PDL championship. That's got to be very satisfying.
Yeah, it's fun. I know that sounds. I was relieved. I was telling Arlo before. I was so relieved, but we beat Laredo, Texas, in the final. And the way the PDL is set up, we had back-to-back weekends. So to win the West, we played in Fresno at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and that was hot. You know, they're talking about with Qatar with this cloud, right, that they're going to put over these stadiums to keep I think it'll work because when the cloud cover was gone, it was like we had a magnifying glass on us.
Yeah.
So the semifinal, the West region, was at 10 a.m. The next day. We played Ventura, California, and we played the final against Fresno, the home team, and that was at noon. And it was shocking how it's just fatigue, how hot it can be. And then we come back to host the Kitsap game at Kitsap, and guys played great. We beat Laredo, Texas. Very interesting game. 1-0. We had to hang on. We scored in the 11th minute. So I'm proud of the guys. You know,
That's excellent.
this team
Fantastic,
is
Pete.
about the players. They do a great job.
Boy, you know what they say, 90% of this game is half mental. Is that you?
Hold on, I
I'm
gotta
sorry,
do
that's
the
Yogi
math.
Bear. I had to share that. Let's end with this. Notice in the paper, at Seattle Times this morning, all over the sports world, Real Madrid signed a 7-year-old child, Arlo. What's going on here?
Well,
Not specifics, but what's going on with that mindset?
This is how it works in Europe and in
Yeah.
other parts of the world. If you show some prodigious talent, at whatever age you are, then big clubs come a knocking, and they want you in their system.
Wow.
Now, he won't be a full-time pro at the age of 7,
No.
but he will be in the he will be in the academy. And what better place for him to be? I mean, it's the failure rates of kids that get signed for clubs is massive.
Oh, yeah,
so that you have to ensure they get their schooling and so they're prepared if it doesn't work out. But listen, you don't know. Maybe in 10 years we'll be talking about one of the world's greatest players who starts
could.
at the age of 7. But that's it. Anywhere else around the world, you get spotted at that age, you get in the system, and hopefully you make it.
I just want to hear the kids say, I've been dreaming about this opportunity all my life.
Since I was 5.
Before we go, August 16th, group stage, CONCACAF,
Yeah.
Guatemala comes to town. How important are these matches? And by the way, tickets available Another big crowd. Let's get them. We had 21,000 for that match.
That was the highest
Panama.
crowd in American domestic soccer that day. And don't forget, Portland were playing against the LA Galaxy on the same night. So to get 21,000 for a preliminary game in the CONCACAF Champions League, massively, massively impressive. So this is the group stage now. 3 home games, 3 away games. Comunicaciones of Guatemala, something of an unknown quantity. I haven't started my prep for that one yet. But Monterrey as well, and Herediano of Costa Rica, who are Leo Gonzalez's old team. And I saw him in the elevator in the team hotel in Kansas City, and he's got a big beaming smile on his face. He was sent off in Costa Rica last year against their main rival, Saprissa, and he got the send-off from their fans, let me tell you. So he looked forward to going back to his home ground. But come along. We saw the drama against San Francisco of Panama to get into the group stage. 21,000 was a fantastic turnout. Let's try and repeat that. Let's try and get a few more and show the region just how big a soccer city this is in Seattle. And Comunicaciones, we need all the support we can get. Last year didn't go well, 1-5 in the group stage. Let's get off to a good start against the Guatemalans.
Great advice. I want to thank you guys for joining us. We are at La Ilsa. Thank you for the North End Faithful. Kenny representing them today. Pete Fewing, Arlo White, I'm Tony Ventrella. That's the roundtable for this week. Remember, August the 16th, CONCACAF Champions League. Tickets available right now. We'll see you out there, and we'll also see you at the Chivas USA game, 1 o'clock this coming Saturday. See you next time.
Are we going drinking with Kenny?
The Sounders are proud to partner with Special Olympics as we spread the word to end the word. I'm James Riley. When I hear people use the R word, retard, I think of my friend Stuart, a Special Olympics athlete who has an intellectual disability. Please join my teammates and me and take the pledge to stop using the R word. It hurts Stuart and it hurts the team. Sign the pledge today at the Special Olympics booth in Soccer Celebration on the main concourse. Spread the word to end the word. Thank you.